Are you able to see my screen? Now you people are able to see, right? You are able to see the editor, right? Okay. Today's and we will discuss about the what is this try to understand, right? Have this one. So the inherit. Now let's say that we already discussed that don't think department means it's a department. So generalized one. We having in IT department like this we are like this department means it's a department and we'll be having a types of department. Let's say that generalized department we will be having a constructor for this. Normally what we will be creating, so I want to create a accounting department equal to new department. I will be using, I need to pass the details, that is nothing. What is the type of department? Accounting. And do you have any department type? That A1. So like this we will be sending the details. Let's try to take those details. Public, I can say that it's a department name. And also you will get a public department ID. Get a department. Now we are having, so whenever the user is trying to create, whenever he wants to create new department and pass what is the department and what is the ID. Now I will create an IT department. IT department. I will create new department and I need to pass something like ID I am passing. So like this, we will be creating the department. Let's say that discuss. So let's say that in department we have an employee. Okay. Let's create an employee. I am creating that one as a private so that nobody can access. I already told you if we access what is the, that is nothing but anybody can add that one directly into the employees. Because of that reason, I will create, and here I will create an that add employee so that anybody who wants to add an employee add it from here. Here I can do something like this dot employees dot push, and I can get an employee detail, employee name, or wants to add and I can use the employee name here. So this is how you can use the add employee. Now when we have created this, now I want to add some Mohit to the accounting, belongs to the accounting. So I will add something like accounting dot add employee of, I will add directly Mohit. So like this I can add. So let's say that here IT department is, I want to add Navneet into the IT dot add employee. Directly I can add. Now we are having a differentiation between echo, okay, long a accounting department and this accounting. I try to dot log if I am trying to print all the things what I am trying. Now we are having, so we are able to get a department, and this department ID is one department name, and the employees that are having, this is the accounting department. We also have another department ID and employees. Fine. So fine. This is, we are having an like this. So now I have, why I have mentioned this private is access. These are called as a modifiers. Private, and we also have a protect. But it's come to the, so now let's say that accounting dot add employee, right? So now why we have declared that private thing. So if anybody wants to add directly the employees, accounting dot employees, if anybody wants to add this one, so now in the internal sense also it is not showing. Why? Because as this one is a private variable, so we cannot access it outside. Now this variable is accessed inside this class department only. So that's it. Now this is about the basic class thing. So how we can declare a class and how we can initiate a class and how we, that's and all. Now let's say that my requirement is this department for IT department. For IT, in IT department we have a section, have an admin. In accounting we don't have an admin. In accounting we'll be having something like that. We will have some extra concepts, nothing but generating the reports. And in IT department we will have some extra concepts, something like admins. Now this is a generalized department. If you try to observe accounting department, you will have the employees. Accounting department also has a name and an ID, and the IT department is also has a name and ID, and also IT department also has a employee details. That means what you need to understand here, you need to take in a such. So this all comes under the planning. So we are trying to do the, so this all comes under the planning. So for example, let's say that you need to plan yourself. We are having a department. The department. So which department means it's a generalized department. This is the department. The common things what we'll have in the department is every department will have a name. Either it may be accounting, HR department, or anything. It will have a name. And every department will have an ID. Whether it will be accounting, HR department, IT department, anything. So these are the common things available across the departments. And also let's say that employees. Let's say so according to our requirement. So employees is also, for every department we'll have an employees. So these are the common things which are available in the department. Now let's say that let's come exclusively which are available particularly for only a particular department. Let's say that let's go to this accounting department. Okay. So let's say that we will be having, an IT department. Let's say that we will be having an IT department. Now you are having an IT department. Now IT department will have a name, and it will have an ID, and it will also have an employees. Apart from these all things, it will also have something like admins, which does not contain in any department. This admins concept is available, is considerable only to this IT department. Let's say that we are targeting only departments, right? So next, another department is accounting department or HR department. So I am having an accounting department, and this accounting department, what I can say, common things. So have a name, you will have an ID, and you have an employee. So the same concept, and here you will have an extra thing that is nothing. So that means, so now admin and the reports are are not the common things which are available for only IT department. So now what I need to do, so for example here IT department, I want to add an admin. IT department dot add admin. I want to add an admin. How can I add admin here? So I cannot, there is no method available for this admin. What I can do here, now here I can create a variable something like private admins string. Okay, array of string like this. Now I can have a method in a such that add admin. I will have a method. Also you will name, and here I can do something like dot dot. Now this department has an admin. Now if you try to push add admin, I need to pass a name. Now this one is fine. This is fine. Now if I try to see the output, now for this accounting department, okay, I am able to see the admins which should not be there. Why? Because this is an accounting department. Accounting department should not have an admin. This contains the reports, and in this IT department you will be able to see the admins, which is totally valid. But here accounting is there. So then what I need to do now, if I get a report thing, now accounting needs a report. So what I can do here, so directly I can create another thing, something like reports thing. I can do it like this, and I can go here add report, same thing. I can do this add report name of type string, and I can do something like this dot of name. Try to push or report, get a report, and I will try to push. I push it. Fine. Now accounting department, I want to push something like accounting dot add report. I will try to push. I will try to add an add report, and what I will try to do here, so I will try to hit on generate. So if I try to see the output, now department 1 is having an accounting. This should not be present admins. Why? Because accounting doesn't have an admins. It has only the reports. Fine, reports is there, but admins is there. Admins is also there. This should not be happen like that. Now let's go to the IT department. What will happen? If I go to the IT department, admins is there, which should be there. Department ID should be there. Department name should be there. But employees also should be there. But here we are able to see the reports, but it is empty. But we are able to see the reports. That means IT department should not have the reports, but it is having a report. Have only that. So now that means some logic is there. We have a logic in a that the common department code should be the department, and the logic which belongs to the only accounting and the IT department should be inside that accounting and department code. So what I can do here, instead of having this, let's repeat something. Not be in the department. Why? Because if I add it in the department, both accounting and also the IT department is sharing the report. What I can do here, I can create a new like accounting department. I can do it like this, and here I can create a variable private, and here you will be having a report. Accounting has a report, right? So I can have this one in, and here I can have a add report, which will be available only add report string, and here I can the report dot push. Now instead of creating accounting, I know this account be an accounting. I will create an accounting. Now we have added a report. Now we have added a report. So now we have created accounting department. Why? Because accounting department has a sub class. Now we are trying to create a department which is, so I am creating a new accounting and I am adding a report. Let's try to see. Now this department should have a name, right? Now if I try to see the accounting department, this time only this is having the reports, whereas the department is having department ID, department name, all employees is also it is, but accounting department is not having. That means what I need to do here, again I need to write a code that accounting, it may be whether it may be accounting or IT department, it is a department. So that means department means it should have a name and an ID and also the employee. But whereas this is having this one. So now if you want, you can also write this all employees thing, all logic you can, but this leads to the duplication. Now what I can say is, okay, this is a department, but this should belong to extends belongs to department. So this should inherit the properties from the department. Whatever the properties and methods are there in this department, share all those details. Now immediately when you are trying, when you have extended this department, here you are able to see the error. Why? Because so it is trying to call the constructor, this parent class constructor. When it is trying to call this parent class constructor takes two parameters. That is nothing but department name and department type. So what you need to do here, you need to pass it. Here I can pass in also. Now if I pass this one, automatically accounting department is created. Now accounting department means accounting department, accounting extends department means, so this extends means automatically you can able to access all the properties and methods available in class. Now you need to pass a name. Now you can also access these methods which are present exclusively in the accounting. Other than this, so now we have divided the logic. Now if we try to see the output, see now we are able to see the accounting department. So here you will be able to see the accounting department, and here if you try to observe, there are no admins or anything. See the reports are there, and like this same scenario, what I will try to do is I will try to create an app IT department also. So it should extends department, and here I can do that click means, so I will have an admin. So I can take string equal to string. So here I can say add admin. So I have a method add admin. So if I try to take whatever the name you want, you can. Here I will be doing this dot means dot of like this. Now let's try to see. Now we are creating we are trying to create an IT department. Here instead of creating a department, let's try to create IT. Now it is extending the department. We need to pass the department name and also the department. That this constructor. So now I am trying to create an add employee. Okay, add employee will work. Why? Because the main class is having that I can access the methods and because it is extending the department. And also what I can do, so I can add an IT department dot add admins. So add an admin. Here I can add an admin, and here also we can add an employee thing. I can able to access the method which is present in the department. Add employee of. So now I can do it like this. Now if I try to see the output, or accounting department. Now if you try to see in the accounting department, we don't have an admin. We have an reports, we have an employee and department is totally valid. So this is the expected result what we want to get. And here in the IT department, we don't have the reports, we have an admin. This is the expected thing which I want. Previously we have the admin and also a report in the IT department which should not be there. The report should not be present. Whereas in the accounting, we have a reports which should be there, but we also have the admin which should not be present. So that means that admin concept is for IT department, and also this report concept is for the accounting department, not for the IT department. So this is how we can I can say we can divide the logic. So now department, now here it is a generalized department, so which applicable to all the departments. It can be a department or anything. This is a generalized department, whereas accounting department and IT department, which extends this department. So that means it can able to access all the properties, and also it can has its own logic. Okay, this is the basic concept in here, basic concept of. Now let's try to see that an accounting department, right? I will try to have a constructor. I have a constructor. Okay. Now what I want to do is, here I will be creating, instead of having this public report, here I will create public reports of type string. So by default I will make it. Now here it is showing an error. Okay, now here it is showing an error. So what it is showing an error? Constructors for derived classes must contain a per. Means it is that. So the constructors which are present in the derived classes, that means which are present in the child class, whatever the name. So it must contain a super. That means now here I am trying to call accounting. I am trying to call new accounting department, and now here it is showing an error that this constructor takes only one parameter. So here you are trying to create an object for the accounting, not for the department, and here it is saying, so here the second parameter is not accepted by the constructor. It is accepting only the one parameter. So I can remove these all the things also. Why? Because so I have mentioned that that parameter thing. Here it should default. If nothing is provided, means I can make it as a default thing. So now what about this department things? Now I have created here accounting department, but I need to provide this department and department ID also. Why? Because it is extending the department. I need to access the properties and methods from this department. So accounting department means it should have a department name and department ID. And here in this accounting department, I am not passing anything. So let's try to pass here. Let's try to pass it here, and let's try to take it here. So that here I will take the department type string, also public department ID are the two things. Okay. We took the three things. Now we took the three things: department name, department ID, and also the reports, which is an empty. We don't provide anything, an empty, or otherwise. So now this constructor is taking the department name and department ID, and now somehow we need to pass it to this parent constructor so that these properties will be initialized. This department ID. So in order to have this one, so what we need to call is, we need to call super. Super means it will call the parent constructor, and when you are calling this parent constructor, we need to send the details, department name and department ID, so which we have received it from the accounting department. Here you need to pass department name and we can use this department ID also. So I am passing it to this. Okay, now everything is working fine. This is how we will be sending, and we know that, and here the is how we can modify this one. I know that this is an accounting department. I know that this is an accounting department. I know the name. So why need to pass the name again? No, this one I am creating for an accounting. I know the name of this one. This one will be accounting department, will be always accounting. So I can remove. And I know that accounting department has an ID. So why to pass unnecessarily? So when I am trying to create an accounting ID, so that means I need to create an object for accounting. So I know that accounting name and all those things. So instead of passing this, I can remove these all the things. Whoever will be creating, so they will be creating an accounting. Okay, for this one always the accounting ID will be like this one, and this one will be like this one. You can pass it like this. Now accounting department means there is no need to pass it again. Not a generalized thing, right? So if it's a generalized department, so we need to tell what is the department and what is the department ID. Here, this one is not a generalized department. This is especially accounting department. Accounting department means it will always create an object for accounting only. So there is no need to pass again account. I want to create an accounting department, which is of department name accounting and an ID of A1. So that doesn't make sense. So now we can create a constructor directly like this. Okay, so here the class will assume that, okay, so this is for accounting and the ID. In the same scenario, IT department, there is no need to pass this one. Okay. So now what you can do here, you can create a constructor. You can create a constructor here. So when you immediately create a constructor, you need to call the parent constructor. Super. Now super, you need to send the concept IT and something like I1. Why? Because so the IT department will take a department name. That's it. So now we have created very simple. So now if I try to show you the output, the same output you will get. See, A1 accounting, Mohit report 1 generated and IT department, same thing it will be. There is no problem in this one. What we have did here, we have created a constructor class also, the derived class chain. Now we want to call the parent class or base. You want to call the constructor and the parent class in JavaScript. We'll be calling using already discussed in the vanilla JavaScript also. I'm trying to tell. And this will call the constructor, and in this base class, whatever the parameters it's trying to take, we need to send those parameters. Since accounting department, we know that common sense need to pass these all details again. We know that accounting, know that IT department will. Now if you have another HR department, create an HR something. Okay. How we will be calling the what I can say, constructor. So parent class super. And another one what I want to take is overriding the properties, overriding the methods in JavaScript. So for example, let's say that add employee is there. Now accounting, Mohit belongs to accounting, and admin belong. So IT in IT department, Leela belongs to the IT department. Let's say that I want to add accounting dot add employee of. I am trying to add the accounting department also, which should not happen. Why? Because this guy belongs to the IT department, but we are trying to add this guy to the accounting. Let's try to. If I try to add it, accounting department in employees is there. Also in IT department, you will be able to, as an admin, Leela is there. It should not happen like that. Should not happen like that. Or otherwise try to add this IT department. No, it should not happen like that. So what I am trying to say, this accounting department, in this accounting department also Leela is there, and its IT department also Leela is there, which should not happen. Now what I can do here of happening, this is the main concept, which will be the adding the employee into the class. So this should not happen. What I need to do is, commonly what we can do is, of doing this one, what I can do is that if employee not equal, add the employee. Now if I try to see in accounting department is also Leela is not there. If I try to see in the IT department is also Leela is not there. Why? Because the add employee is generalized for both the IT department and also for the accounting department. So that means condition should be present only for the accounting department, not for the IT department. IT department should allow Leela, but accounting department should not allow Leela. So that means add employee should belong, this logic should belong only to the accounting department. So what I can do here, so I cannot say, what I can say is, I cannot say that add account employee. I can something like I can create another class that I can say that here I can take this out. I can write, and here instead of if name, then only add this dot add employee. Have an add employee name. So we can do it like this. So now whenever in the accounting, so when we are trying to use this add employee, need to tell to the don't use this method add employee, use this method add account employee. Why? Because we have some conditions add account employee, and if somebody wants to use here also, then it will be an error. Why? Because add account employee doesn't exist for this one. Or add IT employee, if I try to use add IT employee, so this doesn't exist, so we need to write again. So this creates a confusion for the developers. Is for every department, so separate method will be having something like add account. So this create a confusion. It should not happen like this. Add employee means it should be an add. See, it's a department, it is a department. We add employee only. For this reason, what I can do is we can do like this. Okay? Add employee. Do this add employee. But what we need to do is instead of having this add account employee. So this is the method we are calling, right? So we can override this method. So whoever calls the add employee in the accounting department using the accounting department object, instead of executing this method, we are overriding. So overriding. So add employee. I will write the same method here. Add employee. Okay. Now this add employee, what it will try to do is here I can write a condition that if this dot employee name, not this employee name is not equal to Leela, then only we need to add. That means this dot employees dot I need to push it. But this one I cannot access this employee's name. I cannot access this employee's name. So what I need to do, I need to call this dot add employee. If I try to call this dot add employee, again the problem comes. Why? Because here this refers to this class. Okay, this refers to class. But here I don't want to call this add employee. I want to call this add employee which is in the parent class. So I want to call this add employee, not add employee. If I want to use this dot add employee, take this class and it tries to call this add employee, which goes to an infinite loop. Call this add employee and it will go inside this one, and again it will call this one. So it will be infinite loop. So it should not call add employee which belongs to class. It should be the parent class. So for that reason, so what you need to use? You need to use super. Okay? So I need to call super dot add employee for accounting department. So now I have overridden the prop method for this add employee, such that for accounting departments you can call as it is the add employee, not a problem. For IT department also you can add an add employee, not a problem. There is no need for you to bother about this one. But this add employee accounting, first it will check that whether this add employee is present in this class or not. Yes, it is present. It will try to execute this method first instead of executing the parent class. So now add employee, it will check here it is present. Now it will try to execute. Okay, this condition is it is not equal to. Then I need to call super dot add employee, means super means it goes to the parent. I need to call this parents add employee. It will call automatic. It will push. We try to see the output now. Now I am able to see the accounting name, and here we are having only Mohit. Yes, which is it. And here I am having a Navneet and Leela, which is fine, IT department. Now this is how we can override the methods in the we have how we can override the methods in the what I can say in the class, the child. Do it like this. This is about overriding the methods in the TypeScript. Just small. This is all about the classes, overriding this inheritance thing and all those. I don't want to go too much. So I will end here. Tomorrow session, what we will try to learn about the getters and setters, all things, and we can learn about the static methods and why we need static methods and static also will be try to explain, and I will try to explain you abstract class. Abstract class. That's it. By these classes, the concepts are more important. I am trying. That's it. The next afterwards you learn about like this. We'll move. So these are the. This is all about the inheritance and overriding the method in the inheritance. So like this we will be using. Try to for a session we'll try to see about these getters and setters, static methods, static properties, and abstract classes. All concepts only. Try to explain. Tomorrow afterwards you'll try to learn about